bring 'em out, bring 'em out, bring 'em out, bring 'em out.
Ladies and gentlemen, get ready for Bring 'em Out with your hosts, Joel Richardson and Alan Hill.
Hey everybody, we're here at the Sunnybrook Ballroom inside Joel's office with another episode of Bring 'em Out. I'm Alan Hill, here with SquareJoel himself, who has raided Jay Black's closet on his way to Sunnybrook tonight.
Yes, I do look like an Ivy League professor.
You look like somebody who just got tenure and then left to pursue a comedy career.
No, exactly. Which ironically, last time not one of the last times we were hanging out, it was on a Sunday with Kunal Aurora.
Oh.
And we're hanging out for it was a surprise 30th birthday for one of our regulars, Tom, and his wife.
Great group of people, man.
Great group of people.
Great group of people.
And Kabungo.
Kabungo, who's the man?
Was the man. Always him and his friend came, and they always come to and bring a table for bingo.
Yeah.
Whether they bring their wives or not, they always come.
Yes.
Another guy's night at bingo.
It's like the only male-dominated table at bingo, probably.
Yes, correct. And they go, Joel, man, you're so famous that you need security. They thought you hanging out watching the Eagles game was security, and then you totally brought attention to the part that I didn't realize.
Because I brought my butt pillow. It's a back support pillow, but it basically just looks like a butt pillow. It looks like I'm doing it for hemorrhoids or something, but it's for my lower back issues.
Yes. And I felt safe.
Well, and this is the reason I was down early that day. The reason because you know me, I don't leave my house to watch the Eagles very often.
Right.
Is because Kunal Aurora was doing a post-Eagles game show.
Right.
And I love Kunal. I didn't want to miss him.
Yeah.
But there was no way for me to leave after the Eagles game and be here in time.
No, because we probably started the show about 15 minutes late.
Yeah.
Because of that.
Right.
Yeah.
And so you were nice enough to let me come down and watch the.
Of course.
And of course, that was the time the Eagles got their ass handed to them by the Jets, which was sucked for Kunal.
Only loss of the season though so far, right?
Yeah. And they've been killing it, but that one week, and of course we have a comedy show right after an Eagles loss. The only time that would have happened all year.
Completely zapped the energy out of the room, right?
It really kind of did, and but here's what a pro Kunal is he got the energy back and then some.
Yeah.
Like he just, he went out there and did his thing and engaged the crowd like he does, and man, he's just one of the best.
Yeah.
I love when that guy comes down and headlining, featuring, whatever he's doing, I'm there.
Just the best, man.
Yeah, he really is, and he sized up that whole situation like the pro that he is, because he got there 2 hours before the show or something.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because he likes to set up his equipment and so he can record
Always
his stuff.
getting clips. Yep.
Yeah, he's one of the most professional guys on the scene, And then you bring him through to where I am, because I guess you had run into him outside or something. He comes in, takes one look at because I'm standing now, so the butt pillow is on display. He takes one look at the situation, sizes the whole thing up, roasts the shit out of me, and just walks on through the room.
Ski-roo.
Boop. He's incredible, man. Just boom. Sized me up like the Terminator. Said the perfect couple roast jokes, which I wish I could remember, but I don't. And skedaddled on out of there until it was closer to showtime.
Oh, my gosh. It was perfect, dude. Perfect. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. No, dude, it was great, man. And he really fed off that whole energy from that birthday party room.
Yes.
Getting to, like, how that couple met. And his family, her family, all the friends.
Yeah, and deciphering different things. There was a guy who ended up being a lineman.
Yeah.
Who was a real interesting guy.
Yeah.
He was really cool with Kunal, the back and forth.
And there's always, I told you, there's two shows going on. There's one for the audience, there's one for the comics. I keep reiterating this. Well, that guy that you're talking about saw me outside and he goes, man, because there's so many people that I forget know SquareJoels, but don't realize I started as a stand-up.
Yeah.
So when I was on stage, they none of them had ever seen me.
Right.
Including even like Linda and her husband.
Yeah.
They've been to shows, but never been to a show that I was on.
Right.
Except for the little brief
intro. Yeah.
Right. So the guy goes, man, you were so funny. So funny. I've been to other shows, and the comics aren't that funny. Well, Kanal is behind him,
Oh boy.
yawning.
Perfect.
The guy goes back in the room and he goes, all I could think about was, if that guy thinks Joel's hilarious, this is going to be a piece of cake. Like,
Kunal's the
you
best.
can't let me have that one?
No, Kunal's not gonna give you anything. He's not gonna give you anything for free.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Oh man, yeah, and that guy also, and his whole crew were just raving after the show, man. Like about everybody, all the comics, and just the fact that you brought life back to this place for the public.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah.
And he was and they live right over, like across the street. They can
Right.
walk here.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And he's like, it's so cool to have this place back as a place to go to again.
It really
You know?
is cool,
Yeah,
man.
Yeah. It's really...
Dude, I got to tell you, so I'm halfway through this book.
Oh, what?
Yes.
Dang.
So
Last stuff that I had, it was one chapter. That's awesome.
Yeah. So it's going to be 10 chapters. Technically, I'm done 4.
I'll give you halfway. We'll
Halfway.
we'll round up.
The Queen of the North, Deanna's going to write one.
Oh, that's right.
One chapter.
That's awesome.
And then I got the forward by Giannis Pappas.
Oh, that's killer.
I texted him. Obviously, I can't read it right now, but and he goes, "I'd be honored." And
fucking awesome.
he goes, "Do you want like something?" He goes, "Do you want something long or just like a little something?" And I was just happy he said yes, right?
Whatever, dude.
Right?
Yeah.
So I said, if you want, I could send you, a couple of chapters. But I told him the brief part in chapter 2 when I said he was in the car with me. Oh, so now also let me backpedal. The story is told by Joel Richardson, written by Lou.
Oh.
So Lou is helping me organize my thoughts. All this
Right.
chaos,
Wow.
ADD.
Lou's so awesome, man.
The best.
She's incredible.
She's keeping me on task and organized. So she formulated, like when I was on my way back from my dad's hometown, we were doing a show. It was early May of 2009, days before I left officially. But I knew I was leaving. They came to pick up the car a couple days later. Then I was done leaving pharmaceutical sales. And but it was on that car ride, that 6-hour ride back to New York to drop off Giannis and James Madden. And they're like, "This is the best thing that ever happened to you." And Giannis said to me that I can, if I really focus on comedy, I could be a good feature or middle act. He goes, but you were given the God-given ability to be one of the best that ever lived. Why don't you embrace that as being a comedy producer and event planner?
Some great advice, man.
Yeah, and I was like, man, that was a tough pill to swallow.
Yeah, dude, I can get that too. Yeah.
And for that reason, the book's going to be called Not Funny. Yeah. And
that's great.
Yeah, and of course Deanna came up with that as well.
Beautiful.
Which was another hard pill to swallow. I'm gonna be
That's so awesome.
yeah,
dude.
and not funny.
Oh, it's priceless.
But it's gonna
good.
be great, man.
That's
And he
really good.
but I sent that to him. And that was on Wednesday. And then 2 days later, I texted him. I go, "Bud," and we always said eyebrows raised. He gets it because he known I've been doing this for years. Right. And I go, "You're just gonna sit on that text message?" Like I poured my heart out to him, saying that was a moment, like a pivotal moment, like almost like a milestone.
Right?
Where you're like, I bought a car, got my first job, bought a house. You're like, Giannis's School of Hard Knocks.
Yeah, man.
I graduated, and he gave me nothing. Then before you know it, I got a huge page of what he wrote.
Oh, that's so cool.
And it was like basically saying that you got to be able to kill and hunt, and you got to be a warrior and an adrenaline junkie. That's what he called me.
I love it.
And he goes, anywhere you could put on a show, whether it was a VFW hall, a golf course, country club, casino, Joel put on a show. And he goes, and I was honored to do all those places. He goes, I'm a stand-up comedian and a good one because of Soul Joel Productions.
That's incredible, man. That is incredible.
Really cool.
What a stand-up guy, man.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, how long ago was that?
So that was 2009. So that was 14 years ago in May. So almost 14 and a half years ago. What? Yeah, 14 and a half years. But we started doing shows in like early 2008. So it's probably like a year and a half after I met. So basically 15 years ago.
That's incredible.
All
dude.
that stuff happened. Yeah. And I go, dude, I love you, man. This is great. And he goes, should it be funnier? Like, it's because it's not funny at all.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, no. I go, the fact that you're Giannis Pappas. I go, this is great. I go, but it doesn't have to be funny. I go, you said what you said.
Yeah.
And this is great.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Plus, it's called Not Funny.
Boom. Yeah. I mean, you're right.
Yeah, that's so cool though, dude. I mean, for real, like because Giannis is obviously fucking huge now. You know what I mean? And he doesn't have to do that. No. But he's a stand-up guy. I mean,
real.
that's no joke. That's cool. That's cool shit, man. That is cool shit.
And I found out to be a New York Times bestseller, you got to sell 5,000 copies. Which
that doesn't seem like as much as I would have expected. That's attainable.
Because everything is Googleable.
Mm-hmm.
I put it in. I was surprised too.
Yeah.
And of course, Deanna goes, "Your goal's 1,000."
Reality check.
And of course, I'm doubling that. I'm like, my goal's 10,000.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Like this. So the point of the book is to not, and anything that I do, like not to make money.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. Obviously, it'd be great.
Sure.
But I wanted to raise my profile, get my story out there,
Yes.
kind of collectively have everything in one spot, and tell the story.
Yeah, I think that's
And
great.
a lot of this, behind the scenes, and a lot of stuff I forgot about. Like I even talked to my dad the other night, and not to give away too much, but the first show that I booked was an open bar,
Okay.
and it was overlooking the Manhattan skyline.
Oh wow.
And that's how I got people there, because it was open bar. I didn't make any money. I gave the money right back to the owner just for the space. And it was $20 all you can drink for like 2 hours.
Okay.
But I must have packed 150 people in this place.
Dang.
Yeah, and all of a sudden, all you hear is ka-clunk, 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 boom, 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 boom. Deanna fell down the stairs.
Not the queen of the staircase.
No, not Queen of the North, but not the staircase. And one of my fraternity brothers goes, "Oh, Joel's sister fell down the stairs." Every funny part of this night revolved around alcohol. Then there was 4 guys on the show. I'm the only one that does comedy still.
Oh, gotcha.
Yep. Oh, yeah, no. We had a juggler.
Interesting booking.
Good gig.
Fire eater,
Yeah.
sword swallower.
Yeah. One of the guys is an ESPN announcer. He is the official announcer for United States women's water polo.
Get the hell out of here.
Yeah, and so he's used to go into broadcasting and stuff like that. He very funny, obviously, with color commentary and everything.
Yeah.
My buddy Gaetano, who only performed at that place twice and has never done stand-up again.
Get the hell out of here.
Him and this guy Greg that works for ESPN now crushed it, right? My other buddy Dave, who then once wore a Batman suit to one of our shows. It was the day after Halloween, November 1st. I picked him up at his house, and all of a sudden Batman approaches the car and he goes, "Don't worry, it's Dave." I'm like, buddy, this is so funny. But that night, we're at the place. He gets so tanked and nervous, like drinking beers.
Oh yeah.
We had one of those portable stages.
Yeah.
He got up, overshot it, and fell off and over the stage. Like almost like a Kramer moment in Seinfeld. Boop, 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 over. Yeah.
Dude.
And then never recovered.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Holy.
Then my dad's got 2 sisters. One's older, one's younger. The older one, was there. And she was, back in her drinking days, loved Coors Light.
Okay.
Okay? And she had 2 beers in her hand. And all of a sudden, she just starts chugging. And Deanna, after she fell down the stairs, goes, "What are you doing?" And she goes, "Well, your grandmother's here, and we're sharing a hotel room. I don't want her to see how much I'm drinking." So I grab 2 beers. It's open bar. I chug one and then casually walk back with the other.
Dude, that is priceless.
Priceless.
Wow. And she's getting checked by the girl who fell down the stairs.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, And now this part is not going in the book.
Okay.
But I'll let you know. We did a second show, and this is why I don't drink at shows anymore. We had an argument over money with the owner, and him and I got in an argument, and he knocked me out.
Get the hell out of here.
Dude, I'm talking blackout.
Whoa, bro.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, and I was still in pharmaceutical sales at the time. And this was a Friday or Saturday, whatever night it was. And then I had a ride along, which was only once a month. The timing was not good. Probably should have called out sick.
Yeah.
But my cheek was all like black and blue, and yeah. So I had to tell my boss that I dribbled and hit my face with a basketball.
That's what you came up with?
Yeah, I was like, I'm a clumsy wrestler. It was the same season. I didn't do it.
The little ham-handed crossover attempt.
Yeah. I ended up having to sue that guy, man.
Get out of town.
Yeah,
dude. Yeah, I don't blame you.
Never ate there again. But it was,
I would imagine not.
Yeah. You know how it is.
Sure, it probably ended the gigs.
Yeah. For no money.
Oh, shit. Wow.
Wild, right?
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
I never told you any of those stories, right?
No, dude. Well, I no, actually.
Well, I mean, maybe a couple of the.
Yeah, there's a little bit about that bar situation, but never any of the details.
Yeah.
That's amazing, dude. That's
Wow.
what a night, dude.
Yeah.
What a night.
Yeah.
Dude.
And I think I was on stage for like 15 or 17 minutes. But it wasn't solid. You know what I mean? It was like, yeah. Hey, so what's cooking? You know?
Dude, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Dude, now you don't have to tell this if you don't want, but since I just told this on the other podcast, don't you have a good edible story about a gig?
Oh yeah. So all right. So yeah. So we were in. This is right before the pandemic. We ended up going to Vermont, Burlington, Vermont, and then the next day we headed to Maine.
And who's we in this case?
Yep. So James Mattern and Shuli Egar.
Oh wow, James and
You know,
Julie,
and at the time,
Vegas boys.
Right at the time, Shuli's still writer and producer for the Stern Show.
Yeah, dude, he was in the thick of it still.
So because I'm managing the tour, managing Shuli, I'm the one that's getting paid by everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm talking to the manager of the theater, and we're in downtown Vermont. Also, the Vermont Comedy Club is there, and Nikki Glazer's in town.
Oh right.
And
okay,
in my
okay.
mind, I'm like, we're gonna hang out, and I'm gonna meet Nikki.
This is my chance to become Nikki's manager.
Yeah, well, just somehow rub elbows.
Right,
yeah,
totally.
exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
get in proximity and
Yeah.
see what happens.
And so I'm talking to the manager. He ends up being from New Jersey, so him and I are talking about everything like that. He was from North Jersey, so I talked about going to school in Staten Island, and I used to work in North Jersey. Then all of a sudden, this hippie chick comes over. Vermont, little.
Gotta watch out for Vermont hippie chicks, bro.
Well, that's where the story's going. So she was like, "Oh yeah, just bake some brownies or whatever," and I was like, "I'm not curious."
We all know Joel and his sweets.
Yes, that exactly. So she comes back and grabs a brownie, and she's just talking and whatever, and then all of a sudden she's like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Do you want one?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I do." Now, this is where I fail to ask questions.
Well, similar to my wedding story
Yes.
from last episode.
This girl had her own stickers, like her own branding. It wasn't just something that was like, I'm just going to bake a cake.
Right. Yeah, she's
Like, it's more.
this is some random batch of cookies for the boys at the club. Yeah.
Yes. Dude, it was like a brick.
Oh boy.
Like, yeah. Bigger than like my hand. You know what I mean? Like, or the size of my hand.
A solid chunk of
So-
brownie, man.
Yeah, a solid rectangle.
Yeah, nice.
And I love brownies. I go up and do my thing, 10, 15 minutes. James Mattern's on.
Mm-hmm.
And then Shuli. And I just start eating this brownie. And my world's getting rocked.
And Joel isn't as much a weed guy as I am, by the way. Not
Right.
even close.
And yeah, it hit me all like, I'm like, this is. And in hindsight, Shuli's like, dude, I'm not even mad, but why didn't you talk to me? He's like, this is my world. He goes, but why didn't you share? He goes, at the very least, even if you didn't want to share your brownie, you greedy. He goes, I would have told you how to eat this properly.
Right, yeah.
It's just tiny. He goes, this isn't your world. He's like, just tiny little.
Dude, he underestimated your love of sweets.
Yeah.
And how quickly that was going to go down once it was in your hands.
100%. And dude, this is on the doorstep of me opening up SquareJoel's.
Oh, wow.
So this is 2 weeks before.
Oh, wow. So this
Yeah.
is like late 2019.
Yeah.
Oh.
This is mid-October.
Wow.
Fall foliage.
Yeah.
Everything's going on.
Yeah, it's all
I'm
going
on
down.
the theater's bathroom floor. Dude, all kinds of people are talking about me and stuff. I mean, dude, I look dead. Dude. And I was this was my jolliest. Like I was going through the transformation of leaving the Valley Forge Casino, opening up SquareJoel's, not really working out, driving from New Jersey to Pennsylvania back and forth. I was 268. So I was like,
Oh, yeah, dude.
I myself was a rectangle.
Yeah. SpongeBob SquareJoel.
Yeah. Not necessary, but hilarious. I think we got the point. Yeah. No, you didn't need to do that either. I think they got it.
Okay, I just want to be sure.
Dude, and like Shuli ends up like I was still supposed to get paid.
Okay.
So Shuli ends up getting the check. He's like this, and like he's like, all right, let's go, big fella. I'm like, this is embarrassing, dude.
Oh, man.
The next day, we're shaking it off, and I'm still feeling a little queasy, right? I've slept like obviously like a brick.
I'm sure.
And it's all out at this point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I left it in that theater.
Mm-hmm.
And the next day, we're leaving downtown. Have you been up to Burlington, Vermont?
Yeah, actually.
Yeah, so beautiful town. I'd never been there
gorgeous.
before. We're driving around, and Shuli and James were like, oh, let's go this way. I'm like, let's go that way. So I end up making a left, just following my gut instincts, and we see this place on the right-hand side. There's a line, so I'm like, it's got to be great. There's a line. Let's go check it out. They're like, oh, man, we don't feel like waiting. And I'm parallel parking, and I hear, James. It was Andrew Collins and Ari Finling, the two openers for Nikki Glazer.
Get out. Get out.
They recognized Shuli and James from both living in New York. We I didn't know them at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Parallel park. We end up having breakfast together. I pick up the tab, and we had and Nikki was there. We ended up having breakfast with Nikki.
So it ended up happening anyway.
Yeah, but
And
I was probably feeling my worst.
Dude.
I was like not, and at the time she was still she was doing with Andrew, Are You Up, on Comedy Central's radio on Sirius XM.
Yes, I remember that.
So her and Shuli were in the building every day, so
Get
they knew
out.
each other for being at Sirius.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's so wild, man.
and we were just talking and hanging out, and then 1 year later, during the pandemic, she headlined SquareJoel's.
I was going to ask, and that meeting obviously had something to do with this.
That was literally the same day, 1 year later, because that was a Saturday morning, and she headlined the next year on a Sunday.
That's crazy. I was at that one, and she slayed, you know?
Slayed, dude.
Slayed.
That was
yeah,
right
man.
before the Dome. She was still in open air.
Yep.
Cold.
Yep.
All bundled up.
Yeah.
And dude, when they pulled up, I think Ari was driving, and Andrew Collins was in shotgun, and my sister and I were like checking people in, and the back window rolls down, and it was Nikki, and she goes, "Do you have any Grey Poupon?" I'm like, dude, at the time, like it's just like one of those things, like being our age.
Yes.
Like that was probably other kids wouldn't get it, you know what I
Right.
mean? But it was like such a strong commercial back then.
100%.
It was so funny.
Anybody in our age range.
Yeah, it's just like it was just so because
And
I mean,
in 2019, you hadn't heard it for 25 years.
right, exactly. And you just felt like there's one of those things where it's like that situation where it was just caught off guard, where she probably just felt silly pulling up and being in the back,
Yeah, right.
but made it so funny.
Because she's a comic. She's got
comic,
to make
man.
it funny, and she's
And it
a
was
good one.
So great, dude.
That's amazing, dude.
That was a fun story.
That's
Yeah.
killer, man. That's
Yeah.
because I knew a lot of that story, but I hadn't heard all of those details. That's
Oh
cool.
yeah,
That's really
dude.
cool.
It was like the best, man.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, it was
man.
fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So we both had our edible adventures.
Oh man. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I guess yours was planned too, but you again, you thought you were going right and you made a left.
Yeah, totally, dude. Totally. Yeah.
I knew I was going straight, but I didn't know it was going to be a 65 miles an hour.
Dude, you were expecting a nice little sweet treat, you know, a little full tummy and
Yeah.
a little sugar buzz, maybe.
Chugga chugga choo choo.
Oh, that's priceless, man.
The
That is
best,
priceless.
man. Yeah. And then we got fast forward. I mean, we got Davis coming in December.
Oh, Daryl Davis.
Daryl Davis.
Oh, yeah, let's talk about this.
Yeah. He's coming Friday, December 1st.
Yes, with QDK,
Yeah.
which is Quentin Jones, who people were flipping out. Quentin played in Gatsby's for the first time 2 Fridays ago now, I want to say. And the people that were there were absolutely flipping out. They couldn't believe what they were seeing. They were asking, his name. They were Googling him. They were following him and on the spot and all this stuff. Quentin is a guy I've known for a long time. He's in the Rockabilly Hall of Fame, which is you're not going to hear me talk about many Hall of Famers coming through here. You know what I mean? Like, that's a real deal, no joke stuff. He's sponsored by Gretsch Guitars, which is like one of the holy grails of sponsorships. It's not something I would normally even bring up, but anybody that knows guitars knows what a big deal that is. And he's just a gem of a human. Anybody that saw the episode with him on our podcast knows what a priceless dude Quentin is.
Yeah.
And so Quentin puts together these all-star bands, and this one has a big treat for the Philly area. For anybody from Philly, Delco, anywhere in this area, everybody knows the Hooters, especially anybody over 35 or whatever.
Yeah.
And they were huge in the 80s. They were international superstars. And their drummer, David Usikinen, I think is how you say it, is the drummer in QDK. He's the D. The K is Kenny Aronson. Kenny Aronson is an absolute legend of the bass. He played with everybody from Bob Dylan to Billy Squier to Billy Idol to, just on and on and on. He was one of the people that got the call to audition for the freaking Rolling Stones when their bass player retired in the early 90s. He was one of a handful of people that got in that room. That's how respected he is. He's a big deal, too. And then on top of everything else, Daryl Davis. And Daryl Davis, if you want to know something about Daryl Davis, just go to YouTube and look up his appearance on the Joe Rogan show. They've clipped it out into 12 different clips, and each one, the lowest amount of views on any of those clips is just shy of 1 million.
Well, and by the time this comes out, if you just go to SquareJoel's Facebook page, I'm going to have all the clips on the event page.
Oh, that's right. I forgot that. Thank you. That's perfect. Perfect.
Yep.
Yeah, go check that out, man. It's unbelievable. And I'll give you a quick preview of what it is and let Daryl tell you the rest.
Yeah, it's under December 1st inside the Sunnybrook Ballroom, but it's on the SquareJoel's Facebook page. QDK
with Daryl Davis.
Yeah.
So Daryl, now I met this guy. This is wild, dude. Let's talk about some crazy full circle life stuff like your Nikki Glazer thing, right? So this started when I was 16 years old. All right, I just started playing guitar. I was only a couple months in. I wasn't any good yet. And my mom got me into the local club, the Chameleon Club, to see the Daryl Davis band, who we knew nothing about other than that he was a blues guy.
Right.
We go, and during their set break, Daryl and his guitar player both took time to talk to me like I mattered. You know what I mean? Which at 16 years old meant an awful lot. It was these cool, like, serious musicians, like, giving me the time of day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they even invited me up on stage, which I wasn't good enough to do yet. I had to decline. But it was very cool of them. And I come to find out that Daryl was, at the time and for a long time, was Chuck Berry's keyboard player when he played the East Coast.
And I would have to imagine that Chuck Berry played here.
It would not surprise me, dude. I would bet on it. Because Chuck was a touring machine for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a great documentary on Chuck Berry called Hail, Hail, Rock and Roll that is incredible and talks about a lot of his road habits and how much he toured. And he would literally do a contract, man, where if you hired Chuck Berry, you had to pay him with a suitcase full of cash. Whatever the number was, cash only, sir. And you had to provide him, unless he had certain guys like he developed with Daryl that he liked to use in certain places, you had to provide him with a quote-unquote rock and roll band.
Your own house band.
Your own house band, man. Yeah, so too bad Chuck's not still around, or I would have volunteered to be the guitar guy. Because, man, could you imagine, dude?
Yeah. But, dude, suit full of cash?
Yep. You got to have
a suitcase.
Suitcase full of cash. Yeah, put it in a suit, too. He would have taken it either way. As long as you're giving him cash, he was happy.
But what a wild time to be alive.
Dude, for real, man. And Chuck was a hard-working dude. He was out.
But that's what I'm saying. But
touring.
if he's doing 10 straight road gigs, He's got a caravan full of cash.
Dude, well, I don't know what he did. Did he
That's
go
what I'm
home
saying.
after stops? Did he have a bank he put it in? Like, did he put it in, did he go to the Western Union and
Yeah.
send it to him?
Dude, for those few times that I had to pay comics and that big money amounts, dude, I've never felt more nervous.
Yeah, I bet, man. I can't. I hate.
I felt like I was robbing myself from the bank.
Dude, for real. Like, I feel nervous if I have like $100.
Dude, this was more than that.
So awesome.
Just so you know.
That is so awesome, dude.
Yeah.
So back to Daryl Davis. So
Yeah,
Daryl,
sorry.
No, it's all good. I love it. So I meet Daryl at that club when I'm 16 years old. He ended up we ended up hanging out a little bit. He had this collection of Polaroid pictures, dude, that you wouldn't believe, from every celebrity. I specifically remember Dolly Parton, 2 of the 3 Stooges, Roy Clark from Howdy Doody, or not Howdy Doody, Hee Haw.
Yeah, but those are like those guys that were all in vaudeville and doing like
and just celebrities during the course of Daryl's career. You know what I mean? Because Daryl started playing in the 70s. So, and he did real well. He's an unbelievable musician. He's a keyboard player, by the way. And he is just phenomenal. You'll see it if you come and see this guy. He is just a phenom. And he's got a degree in jazz performance from college, but he's known for playing everything from boogie woogie to blues to rock and roll.
Yeah.
And he's just a gem. So now fast forward like 25, 30 years, and I turn on, back when Joe Rogan's podcast was still on YouTube.
Yeah.
I turn on that week's episode 5-6 years ago, whatever it was now, and I see Daryl Davis's name. I didn't see the face yet. I was just pulling it up, and I'm like, nah. Now, I hadn't seen Daryl. I went and saw him 2 or 3 years in a row every time he came to that Chameleon Club.
Yeah.
And then eventually we lost touch, like you do. You know what I mean? And this was pre-Facebook and all that. So, unless I was calling him on a landline, I wasn't going to get a hold of him. And so now I pull up this episode of Rogan. I see the name, and I'm like, no way. And then I look at it, and it's freaking Daryl Davis.
He had his own episode.
His own episode. And I'm like, what in the world is Daryl Davis? Because I mean, listen, I think the world of him as a musician, but there's a whole bunch of musicians out there, and most of them aren't getting on Rogan. You know what I mean? So I was like, why is he on Rogan? Now, here's where it gets wild. Now, I did not mention Daryl Davis is a black man. All right? Now, Daryl started in the 70s playing in, he's from D.C., and he started playing a lot of the, like, Maryland juke joints that were mostly white and a lot very racist. It turns very quickly into the South when you get into certain parts of Maryland. And so it turns out he's on Rogan because he had developed a relationship over the years with certain people in the KKK, and he had managed to turn them from, basically, put it a better way, he got them to realize the error of their ways. And through this, over the years, he's amassed a collection of ex-KKK member robes that he has proudly in his house somewhere, and just astonishing stories.
Yeah.
That like literally 12 clips that they clipped out from his episode on Rogan, the least of which has just under 1 million views.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's freaking unbelievable. His story's been on CNN. He's been on every news thing talking about it. You know what I mean? He's become quite a cult figure almost. You
Right.
know? And just what I mean, where do you ever hear a story like that? You know?
Yeah.
It's just unbelievable. And on top of that, he's a freaking phenom on the keyboards.
Yeah, and just a good dude.
Yes, just a solid, awesome guy. He treated me respectfully and awesomely as a 16-year-old nobody. He didn't know me from anything. You know what I mean? And he took time to be very cool to me, man. Very cool. It left an impression. Whether I'd ever seen him on Rogan or not, I'd still be telling that story. You know what I mean?
Wow.
I was until I told that story several times over the years.
Wait, how long ago was he on Rogan?
Oh God, it was probably 5 to 7 years ago. I want to say because
He was still in L.A.
Yeah, because Rogan's been on Spotify for probably 2 or 3 years now.
Okay.
And it was at least a couple years before that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So probably when it was bigger.
It was at its peak. It was at its absolute peak. Yeah, it was like somewhere around the time when he was starting to get like the biggest names on the planet on. You know what I mean? Yeah. It was well after the couch era, you know, when it was in his couch and in his apartment or wherever that was, you know.
Yeah.
And then into the studio era a couple years before he sold it and took the Spotify deal, I should say.
Wow.
Yeah. So this dude is in this band that we're talking about coming here on December 1st. His story is unbelievable. His playing is just as unbelievable. I don't know that he still does it, so don't hold me to this. But back in the day, dude, this guy in the middle of jamming a song, he pulls out a bottle of lighter fluid, douses his keyboard with it, lights it on fire, and continues to play through the flames, jamming his keyboard.
Sober?
Sober.
Really?
Oh yeah, no. Daryl's a serious cat, dude. Like you when you meet him, man, he's a serious cat. Like he's he's funny and he has a sense of humor and all that. But instantly you're dealing with a serious gentleman.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what can people expect that night?
Oh man, it's gonna be like
obviously
almost like a history of a rock and roll meets blues show. You know what I mean? Like these guys, like Quentin. Quentin is like a walking encyclopedia of the early days of rock and roll, and Daryl is too. They do this neat thing, man, too. Where
sorry, Quentin is the one that's in the Rockabilly Hall of Fame.
Correct, Quentin.
Okay.
Yeah, and he's the guitar player in the
right.
band. All right,
right.
He's the one that gets all these unbelievable people to come together. You know, Quentin has this wonderful facilitating ability.
That
brings just legendary people together for one night, and you're not going to see these people on stage together very often. This doesn't happen a whole lot, and we're lucky to have it here. You know,
right.
And they're going to they'll probably play some Chuck Berry tunes because of Daryl, I'm guessing. You know, don't hold me to any of this because I'm guessing here. But I know when I saw them the last time I saw this group, it was at a really special show in Lancaster. And Daryl came out from behind his keyboards and kind of sidled up behind Quentin.
Yeah.
And the next thing you know, it's time for a solo to a Chuck Berry tune, right? Quentin puts his hands up and just stands there. The guitar's strapped to him, you know what I mean? Daryl's arms come from behind him and play the guitar solo. And Quentin's just standing there like, and Daryl's down here doing the finger work, and then he steps out from behind him, goes back behind the keyboards, and starts tearing it up again. That's the kind of stuff you're going to see at this show, man. It's going to be incredible.
Again, it's a show for the audience and for them, and they're like messing around with each other.
Exactly.
But not compromising the music.
It's the old school showmanship that you don't see much anymore. Back when like Jimi Hendrix used to play behind his back and play with his teeth. Quentin and Daryl have all that and then some, man. And it's like the old school like hardcore road dogs. You know what I mean?
Well, you could even see it when you sent me the pictures in the action.
Yes.
Like you're like that. You could feel the passion and the energy in just a picture.
Yes. They cook it, man. They are four serious dudes, man. Like you're not going to see a collection of musicians like this together very often.
Yeah,
it's a really
and still only $10 in advance, $15 at the door.
Right, I think we're crazy, but get it while you can.
Yeah. Well, you're trying to build this place up like I did with comedy.
Yeah.
And we're creating a scene, and I can't thank you enough.
It's my pleasure, brother.
Yeah,
my pleasure.
And we're gonna do it.
Yeah, that's right. Keep your eyes open for music here, man.
Yeah.
It's gonna keep getting better and better.
Yeah, and we're having people sign the back wall.
Yes, we're getting that tradition going again, which is super cool.
This past week we had Jim Brewer sign.
Oh, that's so cool.
I finally remember. Well, actually, his videographer did.
Oh, okay.
They call him the Kid.
The Kid.
But his name is Jim, and he's also Jim.
Okay.
And
does he do the podcast with him?
No.
Okay.
No. He's but he does all his road filming.
Okay.
Yeah. And so he was like, dude, we got to have him sign. I'm like, thank you for reminding me. Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah. So we signed it, and then for the swing dance that Sunday, we had the Ultra Kings.
Oh, dude.
You know them?
Well, remember we talked to Quentin about it. Remember Quentin knew them.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Because they're a rockabilly guy. And I didn't even think about this, but, dude, people that come to a lot of the other dances, they came in and they're like, I can't believe you got this band to come here. So I was like, oh, good booking.
Yeah. I love it, dude.
Yeah, a little whoopsie cakes.
That's so awesome, man.
What do you say? A happy accident?
Yeah. Happy mistake.
A happy mistake. I didn't know.
Who knew?
Yeah,
man. Well, we're learning, buddy. We're learning. Like it's like I had to rely on a lot of people that I know early on in this booking, which I'm thrilled about because they're all great. You know what I mean? And a lot of them are going to draw anywhere, like Quentin's band. I mean, if having the guy from the Hooters on drums doesn't draw in Pottstown, you know, I'm done. You know what I mean? Like I don't know what to tell you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we're learning this area too. You know what I mean? We're starting to learn who some of the local acts that we can bring out that'll draw too. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And we're going to start bringing that to the ballroom as well.
Dude, and we already got 260 tickets sold for that Celtic Christmas.
That's incredible.
Yeah, so we're already
Incredible.
over 25% of the way sold out if we were to sell how much we had for Brewer
That's amazing.
on
man.
a Sunday matinee.
That's incredible. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's is it Kim from Vujade, right? Yeah. Who is going to be playing in Gatsby's also with Julie Kovac. And also with her own duo.
Right.
And we're going to have her here as on the regular, you know.
She Alan Hilled me.
She what?
I go, we have over 250 tickets sold. She goes, right on. She didn't say brother.
I was going to say, well,
No, she didn't say brother.
That's awesome, dude. I can't wait to meet this woman. I still haven't met her.
Oh, she's great, man.
I think
Great
it's obviously her and her husband are real dynamic,
Yep.
and I can't wait to see
Great,
them do their
great
thing.
following, good people.
I couldn't go to the show in the Dome where they did real well over Labor Day, I think it was, right?
Yeah. No, it was like the last weekend in September.
Oh, is that what it was? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it was late September, and that was their 25th anniversary.
Wow.
So when she came to me with this idea, I'm like, yeah, let's do it. She initially was saying Gatsby's, but thank goodness, we'd be at a capacity now.
Mm-hmm.
But on a Sunday matinee, I'm like, yeah, let's do it.
We need to talk to them about the ballroom.
Oh, they're in the ballroom.
Vujade?
Oh, not Fuja Day.
The
This
Celtic
Celtic
thing.
Christmas.
Yeah. We need to talk to them about Vujade in the ballroom too.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Yeah, because it's different group.
Right.
So, yeah.
And she's got multiple things, man.
Yeah.
You know, she's going to be here as part of that, as part of the duo with Julie, as part of the duo with her husband.
Yep.
Those alone and plus Vujade will be here for sure at some point again.
It's all going to happen, man.
Yeah. It's all going to happen.
The New Year's Eve, man. I'm looking forward to it. So we got
That's all right.
actually then we got Chris Barron coming from the Spin Doctors.
Mm-hmm.
And
with Ava opening up,
which people are excited about.
Ava's great, man.
Yeah.
I just blanked on her last name, DiFiore.
Yep, DiFiore. Yeah. And then New Year's Eve, we have the Sounds of Sunnybrook House Band, and then matinee afternoon, Jason Solomon comedy show at 7 o'clock, and then at night, Dibs and the Detonators.
Dibs and the Detonators,
which are another good rockabilly swing band.
Yeah,
but they just rock the house, and people love to dance to them. So it's gonna be another New Year's Eve rocking time here.
That's gonna be killer, dude.
Yeah.
Killer. That's exciting stuff, man.
Yeah,
really exciting.
But yeah, man,
we're cooking. We're cooking.
We're cooking. For Alan Hill, this is SquareJoel. Another episode of Bring 'Em Out. Please subscribe, watch us, and leave us a review. And we'll see you soon.